What's up, everyone? Back from the gym, energetic, ready to go. Let's talk some Legion. Today, a little disappointment. We were supposed to get this like amazing fucking Q&A today, and we were let down a little bit. Obviously, even the devs themselves at Blizzard were a little dumbfounded as to why the community was so upset. Then people started posting on Reddit, making videos of Tom Chilton's clip saying that there's going to be a Q&A with the community and whatnot. Instead, it was more like the hosts of Gamescom for Blizzard GC were just giving them simple questions to answer. Nonetheless, there were still questions, you know, and we have an array of answers for a lot of interviews. So this video, we're basically going to discuss all the stuff that we basically didn't cover on launch day. Is it like Blizz Planet? All this information that I'm getting is from MMO Champion, Blizz Planet, a lot of European websites that I really don't know right now. But yeah, today was a little upsetting. But you know, we just had to deal with it. You know, I was kind of happy that the people at Blizzard, like Ian, were just like, you know what, we didn't meet your expectations and we apologize. There was some miscommunication between us and the community managers, and you know, all this stuff that's going on. And that's pretty much it. It's just like the Dota International. People were upset with like Deadmau5. It's Deadmau5 or Deadmau5? Deadmau5, right? For not playing long enough. And he's like, what do you want me to do? He's like, you know, Valve pays my agent. My agent pays me. He tells me I'm only supposed to play music for 20, 30 minutes, and then I'm done. What else do you want from me? It's the same thing with developers. Like, developers have, you know, public relations, marketing people, whatever, community managers with them all the time saying, hey, this is how much time you have. This is how much time you need to spend on these questions, and then we got to go somewhere else. But let's look a little of the things that they have spoken about in the past couple of days. Some really cool stuff, honestly. So one of the things that they discussed today, they did answer a few questions. The team has known Legion would be the next expansion back when they started coming up with the Draenor concept. And that goes back to me predicting that this is going to be a really huge expansion because they've been thinking this one up. They've been building and developing this since before Draenor was just being, you know, a concept. So that's really good to know. The one point that did come out of this interview that I thought was really smashing, was the professions question. They're like, what are we going to do about professions? You know, they admitted professions was lackluster because the garrison really didn't do any justice. But they did say that they're going to present a quest line for each expansion. Excuse me, each progression. Yes, of course we'd have a fucking quest line for each expansion. A quest line for each profession. There will be some system changes to professions as a whole to improve the UI and add new functionality, which I am all about. I would love to actually make gold without just standing in the middle of Stormwind and opening trade with my viewers and getting gold. Now, that's cool, man. Hey, I love having 300,000 gold on all my tunes. But I do miss that great time I used to have in Burning Crusade when I was a jewel crafter, when it was brand new. And I would just sit in chat and in trade chat just like be like, hey, I'll do all your gems, or I'll, you know, craft all your gems and blah, blah, blah for this much gold. And I would just rack in the gold over a 6-hour period in the evening when I was bored out of my mind. You know what I'm saying? Salute. I'm drinking some mead, by the way. Side note, you know, non-Legion talk. Mead is amazing. I just started drinking more mead, and I love mead. If you guys over in Europe or America have any suggestions for some good fucking mead, let me know, because this shit's delicious. It's like every mead is just like honey, right? It's like honey. It's like 16% too. It's out of this world. Ooh, that's awesome. And let's go over some other points. So the professions thing was a really good update that I thought that, you know, needed some answering. There's not going to be any filler patches between Draenor and Legion, basically because they believe Ruby Sanctum back in Wrath didn't really work too well, and I agree with them. One more character slot is being added. Having one artifact per spec will help to focus the specs. Right now, Frost Death Knights can use a two-handed weapon or dual wield, but their artifact is 2 rune blades, so they will focus on dual wielding in Legion, and Unholy will focus on two-handed weapons. I kind of like that. I like the fact that Blizzard's saying, hey, you can only use two one-handers, okay? Enough of this, you know, sharing with the Unholy and Unholy DKs, QQing and raids about loot and shit like that. The new honor system allows for some new abilities to be added that would have been cut in the past as they were PvP only. Let's see, Draenor forces are busy rebuilding Draenor, so they are not going to come back and help with the Burning Legion. Now, I was thinking that, you know, Grom and Irel would work together and bring, you know, the Iron Horde, you know, to a understanding with the Alliance members, and then maybe come help us on Azeroth, but I guess they're just done with their storyline. Illidan's storyline will span the entire expansion. Only allowing elves to be demon hunters fits the lore and is the right choice for Legion. One of the social features under development is notifying you when friends join a queue and allowing you to queue with them, which I thought was really cool. I've been trying to preach on my live stream that one of the best, like, fucking things they added to the expansion for Draenor was the public people finder. What is it called? The raid finder? Not the raid finder. Yeah, for fuck's sake, what's it called? You know, the thing where you search for everybody. The fucking finder, man. The people. I'll call it the people finder. And the group finder, I guess I think it is. And you can just find anyone for questing, doing reputation for certain factions, and I mean, certain reputations in like Wrath of the Lich King time. It's great. Like, you can do whatever you want. And now what they're going to do here is they're going to make it so whenever one of your friends joins a queue, it'll allow you to join the queue with them. So let's say you're a tank and your DPS friend is in the queue. You see he's been there maybe for like 20 minutes. You can just like pop in. You see him on your friends list, join him in the queue, help him out, which I hope would make Blizzard allow you to have more friends on Battle.net. Something that a lot of streamers like myself, I would love to have a lot more people on Battle.net to interact with, you know, like add and stuff like that. Older time limited legendary items such as Mr. Pandaria's cape may become transmoggable, but not Thunder Fury, obviously. You will not loot weapons in Legion. I don't know if we mentioned this in the previous video. We may have, but they pretty much confirmed that there will be no weapons in Legion except for the ones that you start with, probably from, you know, Draenor. So once you start your quest at level 100 to get your artifact, that artifact is basically your weapon throughout the entire expansion. The item bonus system, Warforged sockets and extra stats worked out well, so it could be extended to have even more bonuses. The team has a few ideas for how artifacts will work, and these are some of them. Your artifact will start at Epic, and then it will be some way for it to become legendary over time. Your artifact will start as a legendary. That's like a second idea they had. Your artifact may not have a quality. It could just be its own thing. The goal is for players to have an item that they are working on, powering up, and it can become a legendary, rewarding players who do all the expansion's content, similar to Mr. Pandaria and Warlords. I honestly like the idea of the artifact starting out as, like, you know, a white or a gray, and then becoming green, and then becoming blue. Like, it'll be green during your leveling process. Then when you hit like 107, it'll become like blue. Then when you hit 110, it'll become epic. And then, you know, once you start doing mythic rating and stuff like that, and then it becomes legendary. There will be no catch-up mechanic for artifact weapons on alt. Ouch. Let's see. Eventually, you'll be able to unlock every trait in the artifact weapon tree. You may be able to take different paths to unlocking them all. What else do we have? You'll be loving the artifact weapon throughout the entire expansion. We've discussed that. The artifact weapon will have relic slots, not sluts, which will determine its raw item stats, like the DPS, the item level, etc. Artifact weapons can be transmogged into other weapons, but not the other way around. So, I mean, I think Ian was saying that, why would you even want to transmog Ashbringer? And I'm like, well, wouldn't it feel kind of silly if everyone in town... I mean, every fucking rep paladin is going to have Ashbringer. When you go to your class hall, your class hall, like, every single paladin is going to have a fucking Ashbringer. I'd rather transmog my shit to, like, an Ass Candy or something, or Kalamador's Revenge from Twin Emps in AQ40. Earning the artifact has a class and spec-specific quests, but it isn't anywhere near the green fire quest in terms of scale and difficulty. I thought people liked the green scale questing or whatever. I thought people were good with that shit. Now, some things here for Demon Hunters. This was from an interview with J. Allen Brack. This is a Gamescom interview. Demon Hunters will start somewhere around level 95 to 100. So I'm guessing you'll start at 95 back in the Black Temple days. I think you have to go 10 years in the past, right? And then at level 100, you'll come up to the normal level of everyone else and then start leveling to 110. Glaives are a new type of weapon that Demon Hunters use. So now Demon Hunters are going to have glaives. That's their... I mean, they can still wear, like, one-handed axes, maces, swords, but glaives are going to be their new type of weapon. Let's see. The team talked about having the Demon Hunter wear mail, but it didn't fit the class identity. Demon Hunters are agile, so they'll be wearing leather. This isn't a huge problem now that personal loot is used in most places. Now, here's where I disagree, because I remember when I created my Brewmaster, when Monks came out in Mr. Pandaria, our guild we're a heroic progression rating guild, and we had so many rogues. We had a Mistweaver, we had like 2 Windwalkers, we had a couple of druids, and it was like I could barely even get the off pieces that I needed for my brewmaster, and I'm a tank, so I'm like the last one to get upgraded, you know. So I'm hoping that they don't use the personal loot system as an excuse to say, hey, we don't care about Mythic Raiders and their loot council system. For now, Demon Hunters are the only ones who get tattoos. I can't believe people are bitching about that. Oh, why can't my gnome have tattoos? It's like, dude, fucking really? Let's see. Now, this is some stuff pertaining to classes. No stat squish is planned for this expansion. The team hasn't decided if there will be another talent row or not. If there will be another talent row or not, as the artifact weapon will have a decent number of choices for you to make. Survival Hunters will be a melee class with a pet going forward. Beastmaster Hunters will fight at range with a pet, and Marksman Hunters will fight at range with no pet. That's weird. So Survival Hunters are going to be melee. Wow, that's all you need, another melee, huh? And Demon Hunter, all in one expansion. Go Hunters. Oh my lord. Now for dungeons, this is where I got, this is where I started touching on a lot of subjects on my stream. The team isn't sure how exactly they will incentivize players to keep going back to dungeons yet. Once you started to raid in Draenor, you had no reason to go back to a dungeon, which is not good. Mr. Pandaria was a better model where you had a reward for doing a dungeon every day, like Valor, obviously. Now, here's my thing. I went on a huge rant about this on my live stream. Basically, the way I've always seen it is there should be no LFR right now. I used to support LFR. Now I'm under the impression, personally to myself, that LFR sucks. That being because dungeons become irrelevant the second LFR comes out. And I used to love the Wrath of the Lich King vanilla style of doing dungeons. I know, oh, he's going back to the good old days with vanilla. That's not what I'm talking about. I just like the way that we progressed back in the day. You leveled up, you had greens, some of the high level quests from like 58 to 60, 56 to 60, you got blues, you would wear those blues, you got those cool little trinkets at level 30, 40, those were nice. And then you started doing dungeons. Dungeons gave you a bit more powerful gear. Yes, you had to struggle back in the day. People were a bit more patient, and they gave you the time to learn bosses, kill bosses, and then you would slowly get better gear. Once you were decked out in your blue gear and your 0.5 Valor gear, you know what? Maybe now it's time for raiding. So now you're trying to raid Molten Core. But guess what? You still need your best in slot shield because it was fucking Draconian Deflector from Uber. So you're there spending 6 hours running Uber runs. Now, I'm not saying we want to spend 9 hours running fucking dungeons. But it would be nice to bring back that feeling of having to work through the normal leveling for gear and then having dungeons being an important part of pre-raid gear. Get the best blues you can get, craft some gear, and then go into raids. And then make dungeons still give you rewards. For instance, what made it really great in the past was that you finish a dungeon, you'd get Justice points or Valor points. You could use those points to get more upgraded gear through a vendor. I don't know why they took that out. Now it's like you buy it with gold, with reputation. It's like, what? So I would definitely love to see LFR disappear and just have normal heroic dungeons. And then, go back to adding mythic dungeons. But they have, according to this, they have not decided whether they want to add Mythic back. They do like it. The team likes challenge modes and wants to try and make them more accessible. They aren't guaranteed to be added in Legion. So we don't even know if challenge modes are making it back. We have no idea. Let's see. So we talked about there not being any weapons in Legion. According to them, raids today are harder than they ever have been, which I completely agree with. Raids worked out well for the most part in Warlords, but the team has talked about how to make loot better and how to improve personal loot for Legion. Having some encounters that favor melee and some that favor range is not a problem as long as there isn't a huge gap between the two. On rumors that Sylvanas might be a raid boss, they say that's interesting. You never know, kids. You never know. Talking about order halls. Order halls won't have an auction house or a bank. You will spend less time in your order hall than you did in your garrison. You go back to do quests, work on your artifact, and interact with your champions. You will likely spend a lot of your downtime in Dalaran, which is what we did back in the day anyway. The Dalaran sewers were mentioned as being associated with rogues when providing context for the an Order Hall question. The Order Halls may have different sections. For example, in the Paladin Order Hall, the Blood Elf Paladins may be in a different section from the Sunwalkers, as well as the humans and dwarves. It's like we're segregated, you know? The fantasy in Draenor was collecting followers to raise an army. In Legion, you are a leader of your class, order, and you have a smaller number of elite heroes by your side. They should complement and enhance your gameplay rather than compete with you. So, you know, my stance on Order Halls are perfectly fine. I like the fact that we get to have our followers like our garrisons, but there's fewer of them, but they're more powerful. I mean, the example I gave the last couple of days is, it would be really cool if, like, Tyrion was one of my champions, and I got to go do a quest with Tyrion. Like, he goes to a cave, and he's like, yo, Towelliee, yo, found some peeps in this dungeon, yo, let's go. I'm like, all right. And then I go with Tyrion, and we do like a quest together. Like, that's really cool. PvP, Conquest system is going away. The goal is to remove PvP gear. That just sounds so weird when you say it. There will be PvP ways to obtain gear, but the power in PvP will be about your the gear you obtain and the PvP talents that you unlock. Wow. Okay. The location of the Broken Isles will be revealed in the future. Let's see. Flying. The team is basically happy with how they did the flying in Draenor. Do the quests, unlock the shit, and then do it. You know, like kind of like a little mini attunement. Now, for the future, this is interesting. Now, this is one subject that we're almost at a 20-minute video, so I don't want to make this too long, so it just drags out. Hope you guys are still awake. Wake up! Okay, good. We're back. The team still wants to release expansions faster. Now, here's my problem right now with the community that I see all over WoW, whether it be the WoW forums, Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, 4chan, 6stick, 5testicle, whatever. People are putting words into the mouths of developers. And I can't stand that. They've been saying it since Ghostcrawler first said it. Their goal is they want to release expansions faster. They never said yearly. They never said the Draenor will be 1 year and then it's over. They're saying it now how they said it back then. The team still wants to release expansions faster. That means faster than 2 years, faster than 3 years, faster than 18 months. Legion will release next year, but no specific date has been set yet. There's a solid patch schedule planned for Legion. There isn't a solid patch schedule planned for Legion yet. The expansion after Legion is already being planned. The cinematic isn't just complete yet. I think that's pretty much it that they have for like really important updates. Yeah, if you go to MMO Champion or any of the websites, you'll see like a lot of talk, especially about the PvP. But for me, the major bullet points that I was really happy with in the last couple of days is knowing that the professions are going to be enhanced, knowing that they're thinking about making dungeons way more powerful. They were also talking about the Demon Hunter tanking, and that was really cool because they were saying Demon Hunters are going to be, you know, just like Demon Hunters are going to be, you know, like avoidance tanks with obviously mitigation, but they're going to be more agile. They're going to do a lot of DPS. I know Tom Chilton mentioned that today, saying that Demon Hunters are going to do a lot more deeps, which I thought was like really fucking cool. Did they actually have it here? I don't think they mentioned it here in this article. Anyway, but yeah, they mentioned that Demon Hunters, even the tanks, will do some DPS. They'll be quick, they'll be agile, they'll be able to move around, jump around, hop around, double jump, all that good shit. And they'll be tanks. So, I mean, I'm assuming that Demon Hunters are going to be like, almost like Brewmasters. But I don't know. It's kind of weird because we still only have 2 plate tanks. Now, what are some things that I would like to see? Today, there were some cool suggestions that I saw. One of them, I don't know if you guys would want this, all those Paladin tanks out there. Imagine having, like, because they're talking about revamping all our talents and the way we function and work. I would love to see, like, a Titan's Grip for Paladin tanks, where we can actually tank with a two-hander, kind of like a Crusader from Diablo 3. You know, be able to wield a two-handed weapon and then a shield. Maybe in the future, obviously the artifact system will not allow for that. Maybe in the future, that's something we could think about, you know, having like Crusader style Paladin tanking where we can wear like, you know, a two-hander with a big shield and then it's just very powerful looking. Obviously, you know, we would lose something or I don't know what they would do anyway. I'm out. I'm going to finish drinking this mead. You guys Thank you once again. This week has been a great week overall. The live stream has been thumping. Everyone's having a good time. Everything is just great. It's probably one of the best streaming weeks I've ever had. YouTube included. You guys are out there in YouTube land. You guys are posting tons of comments, tons of suggestions. Keep it coming. Let me know what you guys think about all this shit with Legion. I'm going to be working on possibly having my own podcast for Legion specifically. And I'm also going to be trying to get some sort of interview with the Blizzard peeps before BlizzCon. Maybe I can just sit in Skype and get a Skype call while I'm streaming with like Ian or Tom or, you know, any of those dudes out there, just with some basic questions. You know, I'm not no fucking Barbara Walters. I don't want to sit there and drill them about shit. Like, well, why didn't you guys do the flying? I'm the internet. You know, fuck all that shit. So guys, have a great time. Catch me on twitch.tv/Towelliee. I'll be streaming obviously all week. My streaming schedule has changed a bit. Before, you used to just see me stream in the afternoons to raid time. Now I actually stream twice a day for 4 days a week. So my 4 raid days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I actually start streaming at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. until about 1 or 2 in the afternoon. Then I go to the gym, I come home, and then I stream my raid from about 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time till about 9:30, 10 o'clock. So I basically run anywhere between like an 11 to 13-hour stream day every day, 4 days a week. Not every day, 4 days, for 4 days a week. And then the weekends, it's more chill. Like Friday, we do like 6 hours. Saturday, we do like 6 hours. Sunday, we do like 8 hours for the Sunday festivities. So thank you once again, everyone, for your strong support. I love our new schedule. I get to chill with my European mates. You what, mate? And then we get to hang out with you know, evening American crowd that comes home that usually loves to watch me raid. So take it easy, guys. Once again, twitch.tv/Towelliee. Peace out, YouTube land.